black people just because they black, and white people that say, you know what, I just only want to be with white people, because I know black people that only just want to be with black people, and I got white friends that only want to be with white people, and some of my best friends, they fuck with black folks all day, but they just don't believe in like interracial mixing. Does that make them racist?
Well, Chris, they're entitled to that. But
that's what I'm saying. Does that make them racist?
I don't know if it makes them racist or not. But Sloan, let me. I can give you a second feedback, please. But Sloan touched on a good point. Right, New York is a different beast because we are a melting pot. We don't live. We're not spread out like Houston's a very big city. It's spread out, so you can stay away from white people. You can stay away from Spanish, Black, and so on. Here in New York, we live on top of each other. So either we're going to learn to live with each other or we're going to learn to kill each other. That's just how I've always felt. But here's a question I have to do with this. And I've found it before. I've found it before where people say, white people shouldn't be hosting rooms like this. I'm like, really? Why? Why can't I learn about a community? Now, a person wants to open a black space and not welcome any white people, be my guest. But let me tell you something. One thing I learned on this app after 5 years, one of the hardest spaces to run is race relations. And I have to say, this room's running pretty smoothly. Nobody's yelling at each other, nobody's cursing each other. So, if people feel that I shouldn't be hosting these spaces, that's your opinion. The best feature that's ever invented on this app is the Leave Quietly button. So,
who said that?
Okay, come on,
do your shit, JB. You've been doing
great job, dog. JB always got nice spaces.
You've been doing your shit. So, and like, honestly, even if you were a racist, like, I'm not saying you are, but if you was, you conduct yourself as a professional to conduct a space with race issues. So,
I still think it's a little gaslighty. Like, racial, like, profiling happens. That's what I meant by gaslighting. Like, the answer is yes. I know you know that.
So, everybody might know that they know that, but if you look at the top of the room, there's only 88% of people know that. And then 6% people say it's something else, and 6% of people say it's something else, and then 2% of people say it's something else. So everybody don't know that.
Well, this is how I see it, right? Everybody doesn't know because it's not their lived experience. Chris, you know it's your lived experience. Neither is yours. It's Sloan's, it's Barrow's, it's never been mine. I don't think I've been racially profiled. I've been profiled for other things, but
you can't, because you're a white man.
Okay.
No, you profile white men all the time.
Let me say this.
How is a white man going to be racially profiled?
Okay, I literally gave a whole breakdown into how white boys get racially profiled.
Yeah, me too.
Well, let me just say this real quick. There's a section in Brooklyn here, right? If you're in New York, you understand. Oh, Williamsburg, very gentrified area, but there's a small pocket in there, right? That is very religious Jewish people, right? Very secular people. I don't care if you're pink or polka dots. If you walk through there and you're not a Hasidic Jew, they are following you around everywhere you go.
Oh yeah.
So there it is. You're getting profiled by that community. So look, I'm not necessarily crazy white people get profiled. I'm sure we do. I get profiled for other reasons, not because of my skin color. But let's go pop style, guys.
Well, that's kind of the whole point too on what Vera was touching on when she was saying that profiling encompasses more than just race, and that it's not always negative. Like when somebody says, for example, when you said, how could you have experienced that? You're a white man. You just got to look at what profiling is. It's just analyzing and assessing something about somebody's psychology and their behaviors. So, and then you're doing it on the basis of something racial. That's not always negative. You might assume something that could be true on the basis of something like that. But yeah, of course, everybody's going to experience racial profiling because we're always going to be profiling people. And of course, we're going to incorporate race into that analysis.
Hey, that was a great give. Thank you, E. I'm going to give you a little peek. It's just my opinion. I don't speak for all white people. But I think white people are afraid and intimidated by black people, and that's why they racially profile. That's always been my opinion.
Wake it up. wake it up.
I don't think that really has much to do with it. I think it's a economic thing, and it's a way of keeping order so that they can administer, I guess, their white supremacy onto the country, because they have to keep blacks at a certain mind state and level, and a level of respect so they can sleep comfortably. Because God forbid if blacks ever decided to revolt or really act a fool, then they would only have their dogs and guns to protect them. And so I think the racial profiling and the racism and the way they conduct all their business here in America is so that they can sleep comfortably, so they don't have to worry about going to war, because they don't want to go to war, although they're all armed and they're all ready for war and anticipating some of them, but they really don't want that. And so I think they do racial profiling and amongst other things to try to keep blacks in line. I'll end there.
I want to ask you, Jamal, just curiously, like, I don't have like any opinion, or I do have a little bit of an opinion, but more so curiosity. What like percentage of the general white person do you feel like is in that mind state necessarily, versus kind of like what Chris was touching on, where sometimes people just prefer to associate within their own demographics and people that they find culturally relatable?
I would know the answer to that is about as well as I would know what goes on at Christmas dinner at a white person's house, or what goes on at Hanukkah at JD's grandmother and granddad's house at Hanukkah time. I'm not privy to that, and that's the whole point of it. They're passing down information to their children. They're passing down knowledge to each other, and they're sharing information at all times.
Jamal, if you invite me to Christmas dinner, I'd be more than happy to come. And I'll bring you so many good desserts you won't even know what happened.
I'm sure you would, but the answer to the question is you would have no way of knowing that question, because it is what it is. They're passing information directly down, and their kids know very quickly how to speak to you in public. They're taught that from the beginning. They know it's not right to say certain slurs or phrases to you. They know how to carry themselves with you when they're around you. And they also have information on the ways that they feel about you and your level of intelligence. So how would I know what percentage it would be? It could be all of them, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, let me ask you a follow-up question, Jamal. In your opinion, where is racism taught? Because kids aren't inherently born racist, right? You have a room of...
I think it's taught by the mother.
He just told y'all, in the house, it's passed down.
It's passed down from and the mother is your first teacher, and so the white woman is the one who is more dangerous than anybody. She's the most dangerous to the black community, I would say, because our women have lined up with her, like, from a female standpoint, just because they're both female, and our men have been slain for dealing with it. They killed and hung and castrated. So the white woman is very dangerous, and the white woman is teaching the white children.
Jamal, let me tell you something. Just my perspective, right? To crack me in the corners perspective. I think you're wrong. And I'm not about it being taught at home. I think it's definitely taught at home. And now it's also taught on social media. See, social media wasn't around when any of us were growing up. Well, maybe actually. But I think racism really comes from the fathers. Just the white guys and the other groups that are racist, they teach their kids. They drop the N-word like it's nothing. And I'm just telling you that's what I believe. I could be wrong, but I think, and I'm not gonna lie, I think it's the fathers that teach it more than the mothers. Just my opinion.
Well, you would know better than I would. So if you say that, then I don't have any argument for you there.
Hey, this is John. If I could get put in the queue.
It's your turn, John.
Yeah, I don't think profiling is really the big issue. To me, it's representation. Meaning, if you think we live in a structural white racist society, well, then it's not just profiling that should be the issue. It should be representation on the board of directors at the Federal Reserve, Bank of America, J.P. Morgan Chase, Pfizer, Moderna, Coca-Cola, J&J, etc. If you want your seat at the board of directors and you want equal compensation based down on racial breakdowns, well, that's an argument. I mean, so I'm just saying the real racism isn't from profiling. The real racism is from lack of representation in the Fortune 500 proportionally.
That's fine, John, that you think that. But do you understand what we're speaking about?
Yes, I speak English and I understand what you're saying.
Real profiling.
Yeah, I have a profile on this app. It's called John Kitover. You have a profile named Nina. Is anybody racially profiling you right now in this room?
Right. So I want to ask you a question. Do you understand that there are people that are subjected to inequalities that you might not have to experience?
Yes.
Okay. And sometimes they look like brown people. And you know that, right?
Is that a serious question? Yes, again.
I'm serious. So then why would you just come off the mic and act like profiling doesn't exist?
Because representation is a bigger issue than profiling. I hate to break the bad news to you.
Oh, God. But you know why there's not representation.
Well, I'm making a case that if you believe there's structural racism, well, then profiling is not a primary issue. Representation is a more primary.
Is there structural racism that's happening?
You tell me.
I'm not the one that's in charge, so you tell me.
Well, I'm not in charge either. I'm running for Congress to try to get in charge. If you want to donate to the campaign to elect John Kitover, I'll be happy to put the link in the chat, and you can send $10, and we can help. You can help organize and get started right now.
No fundraising, please. Let me do a quick reset. John, I promise I'll do a room for you one day. We'll get you some money. Guys, this is now for debate. Is racial profiling real? Racial profiling is absolutely real. Total hogwash, a figment of people's imagination, or a bigger issue than I realized. We got some cool people in the room. We got Ash, we got Mike Moon, Lady MD, love that PTR. Jane, how you doing? Keith, how you doing? Guys, if you want to come up, you're more than welcome. If you have a pink ticket, cash it. Yo, MJ, you said I am a professional racist. I believe those are the words. MJ Israel. You're more than welcome to come to the stage and expose me for the racist I am. Please, by all means, you're more than welcome to. But let me welcome Nye to the stage. Nye, I'm happy you're here because I'm going to eat. I didn't even want to open this room. But, Adams is Adams. Hi, Nye.
What's up, JB Adams? What's up, Sloan? What's up, Stage?
Hey, Nye.
John. What's up, Congressman? Bouncing around these rooms. Happy Sunday evening, everyone.
All right, guys, we're going to go popcorn style. Slow, get slow.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think while John makes a valid point, it is a misplaced comment for this conversation.
Thank you.
Yeah, because we are talking about day-to-day, regular life, people going about their day to go to work, go to school. We're talking about just a regular old day. The systemic racism, the systemic issues, they exist, yes, but that's not this conversation, John. But yes, there is a place for what you're talking about, and the bigger issues. This is a very important issue, just day-to-day racial profiling. But the bigger conversation, yeah, that could be had. Just it's not right in this one, but yeah.
Well, I mean, in defense, all I would say is that the title is all or nothing, is racial profiling. It doesn't open up the room for any other conversation.
Okay. Yeah.
Welcome back, Chris. Guys, we go popcorn style.
Yeah, John, I think that they were just addressing the particular concerns that they were addressing were more on a localized level rather than a systemic level.
Well, I mean, I don't. I mean, I'll just be quiet for now because I agree. If you want to stay on topic, that's fine.
But here's the problem with staying on topic, right? We can stay on topic, but I think everybody agrees this racial profile was real. You even voted for it, Joe. I asked you a question like, I don't know, an hour ago. How do we fix it? There has to be a solution in there. Somewhere. Where's the start? If these kids are being taught to be racist, I don't think you can unteach them, but how do we make sure the next generation isn't taught these cancerous thoughts? Chris, you wanted to say something?
I think honestly that the majority of today's society, at least around like the places that I go, because I do a decent bit of traveling, and I do like winter sports. I snowboard, and in the summer I wakeboard and this and that. And I'm a little older, so I run into a lot of younger people. I don't think that racism today is like something that is like predominant. Like, is it there? Yes. And is it still being taught? Yes. But I think it's also fighting a losing fight. You know what I mean?
Let me jump into 2 seconds, Chris, to speed off for a second. Chris, John, you put in the chat education. I want to tell you why education doesn't work, in my opinion. When we're not going to be honest about the black community's history and teach them the real history, and we're teaching them the bullshit that we teach them now, how's education going to work? When we don't even let them learn about their own history. So even actually wrong. That I believe to be a fact. Go to these schools. What are they teaching these kids about black history?
JB, everyone knows they're teaching lies, but that right there is why it's systemic. That's something that we can't change. But what we can change is how we raise our children, the way our children perceive other children, and the way we interact with people of different cultures. We can't change the systemic part because everyone knows that black history is a monumental history, and it was erased and turned into a history of slavery. But that's a whole different subject.
Bro, listen, hold on, Jamal. Honestly, I'm the white guy in the corner. I'm the cracker in the corner. I can't speak on black history. But I know there's a lot more to it than what I've learned. And that's the part I want to learn. That's the voices I want to hear. I think it's about time that's not going to happen. Maybe it's just some utopian fantasy I've had where white Americans will step back and say, just let's embrace these people. Let's learn about their history, their strength, how far they've come. But the white supremacists in this country, they ain't never going to let that happen.
JB, I feel like you kind of have good intentions with that, but at the same time, you want people to know that like all the things that we suffered and like what we went through and this and this and this.
No. I want to know about the inventors, the people whose patents were stolen. I want to know it all. Because I know slavery is not indicative of your entire history.
Yeah, and I would dare to say that people should look into the fact that there are a lot of indigenous black folks, because you can definitely tell the difference between black people and Africans. And there's Africans that have been here for 400 years, and there's black
shout out to the Africans. Shout out to them.
Shout out to them. But you can tell the difference between native blacks and the other ones. There's blacks that have been
like
here.
the FBAs.
Can we have one mic on Chris?
There are blacks. There are blacks that have been here. We've been here. Them the slaves.
Well, Chris, let me go to E because he's been trying to get us like 20 minutes. E, go ahead, man.
I was just responding to what you had said earlier when you said that you had mentioned something about racism, and I think that I just wanted to differentiate the difference between racial profiling versus racism, because I think racism is a problem. Like we had talked about, racial profiling is just a subcomponent of profiling in general. We're constantly profiling people, and of course, we're going to take race into account. So I don't think that racial profiling is necessarily the problem, because oftentimes the purpose of profiling is to gather accurate information about an individual. I do think that education could play a negative role in it if you have stereotypes that you automatically think are going to apply to all groups of the demographic. But I think the racism aspect is a little bit more problematic as opposed to just the profiling. I think profiling overall can be useful. And I think that is something that, once again, we do every day. When you see somebody, you're going to take into account what they're wearing, how they talk. Like when I talk to you, I can automatically hear that you're from New York. You know what I mean? That's profiling based on the way that you talk, and I'm gathering accurate information as a result of it. That's not negative, but I think the racism component of it is actually the negative component.
Thank you. Let me say a quick hello to Keith and then Concrete, and then we're gonna go pop. What's up, Keith? What's good, man?
Hey, what's up, JB?
How you doing, brother?
Pretty good, man.
You want to chime in?
Yeah, on the topic, I just think that, like what he just said, the profiling is pretty good if you get more information about that person and you just come up with, you from New York or you from this place or that place. But what I think is it puts us in a box. I was speaking earlier and I was telling them how I came from nothing to where I was successful. And I was in another room, is what I'm saying. And when I told them I was light-skinned, hazel-eyed, but at the same time, I identify as a black person because both my mother and father was both black, but I just happened to be light-skinned with hazel eyes. I started getting profiled by my own people. And they started saying, hey, you like this or you like that? And it was crazy because they knew what I was making yearly with my company, and I probably shouldn't have said that, but it came out, but it was coming out in a way that I was saying, look, I'm not educated, but I still got myself to a certain point where I was successful. And then all of a sudden it was profile, but I don't want to get on that note. I just want to say that a lot of times I believe in a profile, it hurts the person who profile. It hurts the people that does it because the rich will always get rich. It's a numbers game. The more that we come at each other and we separate ourselves, because you from the east side, I'm from the west side, you dark, I'm light, you Jew, I'm not, whatever the case may be, the rich get rich because at the end, to me, and it's my opinion, it's the poor and it's the rich.
Well, I think that classism has really torn this country apart. But guys, before I come back to you, let me say hello to Concrete Center real quick, and then we're gonna go pop stuff. Concrete, how you doing, man?
What's up, JB? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing fantastic. Do you want to chime in on the subject, sir?
I just came in the room. Just make sure I get the topic right. Just so I understand.
Well, we're talking about racial profile. Is racial profiling real in America?
Talking about from like a law enforcement standpoint?
From any standpoint, have you experienced racial profiling in your life?
I'm sure I have. When we used to shop in department stores, way back in that old days. Yeah, there's a department store that has a lot of theft. Walking as a black guy.
And they follow you around. Sorry, Chris. Sorry.
Perusing nice shirts, slacks. Yeah, they're gonna give you an eye, probably a little extra attention, thinking that you might be a shoplifter because of your skin tone. So, yeah.
Thank you, Concrete. Let me say hello to Seneca. What's up, Seneca? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing pretty well. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Do you want to chime in, sir?
Yeah, I don't really think, racial profiling, it's not a systemic phenomenon, so it can't be considered racial, right? For it to be racial or tied to racism. it must be systemic. So there's an provable narrative or a framework that wrongly attributes race as the primary cause of enforcement decisions. And I think it's um, really better explained by behavior. If I today, as a clean-cut gentleman, walk into a store, I'm less likely to be profiled, right, or considered for lewd acts or misconducts if I'm behaving in a way and dressing in a way that is reasonably appropriate by societal standards. If I'm sagging my pants and I have crazy looking hair and I've got a long chain on my gold
What's
chain,
crazy here?
What the fuck is crazy hair and I wear a gold chain, bro?
What the fuck are you talking about?
you know the kind. You know the kind.
Don't let it trigger y'all. Don't let it trigger y'all.
No, be triggered. Please be triggered. If I come in,
Is that your goal?
if I come in looking like, with crazy ass dreadlocks and crazy looking,
Well, now dreadlocks is just crazy.
crazy ass nappy hair, looking like
Don't feed into his trap.
Nappy hair.
looking like a wannabe Jay-Z. If I come in, yeah,
Yeah, he's trolling. Okay.
yeah, no, I'm not trolling. I'm
Good
telling
job,
you.
Seneca. Hey, you did a good job. Look, you almost got me out of character for a second.
Wait, hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Let Seneca land, and then
Can I land?
respond. Let him land, please.
Seneca, before we continue, are you a black American?
Oh, absolutely. I would never disrespect myself by calling myself black. I'm an African.
Okay, I see.
And I know my heritage. So my heritage is Nigerian. So I'm a Nigerian American, African American, which makes me black.
Well, I wasn't trying to insult you. I don't think that's an insult.
No, you weren't trying to. I'm saying they're black people that call themselves black, which is such a disgusting word to call a human being. But I didn't take it as an insult from you.
Thank you. So Seneca, before you continue, now I need to step away to tell you. Can you run it?
Okay, yeah, Seneca, did you land?
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just land by saying that if you walk like a duck and act like a duck, people are going to treat you like a duck. So don't come out here speaking that ghetto slang, blasting your trap music, dressing like a rapper with a long chain and everything, expecting people, the law enforcement, not to target you. That is absolutely ridiculous. Justice does require evidence of intent. It's not speculative. And the presumption of any individual agency matters more than any assumed victim. So it's absolutely ridiculous that anyone would believe this still exists.
Sir,
So what did you say
hold
about
on.
the
Let me go in real quick.
Hold on, wait, because I saw Nina come on first, and then Chris, and then who wants to? We're gonna Nina, then Chris. Who wants to talk to Chris?
All right, Chris.
Okay, Concrete, and then Jamal.
I know, let Chris
Nina
go.
go, please. Let Nina go. Go ahead, Nina.
So what did you say about the hair, the locks, the twist? You said something.
That some Black Americans style their hair, particularly the men, that make them look like criminals. Okay, they resemble those in the prison system. Okay, if you dress like that, don't be afraid of the police officer targets you if you want to look like a criminal, because you want so badly to look like your favorite rapper. You deserve to be targeted, because that's what you want to look like. In my home, my children will never dress.
All right, next.
First off, I would say when saying like if you want to have dreadlocks, I'll say shout out to Cam Newton. That's the first thing I'll say. Shout out Cam Newton, a brother with dreads who's a superstar and who is the opposite of everything you just said about looking like a criminal. Bro, you are the worst example of a fucking stereotype. That it is crazy because I work for a non-profit organization. I'm a supervisor of operations in one of the biggest Habitat for Humanities in the state of Utah, and I wear a gold chain, and my hair is nappy, and I'm tatted up, and I do so much community outreach that it's crazy, and I rub elbows with some of the richest motherfuckers in the country. You out your goddamn mind. And if you looked at me, you would say I was a criminal. But when I talk to these people and they get a chance to just give me a chance, they find out that I'm different. You the problem, bruh. You're the fucking problem. You worried about my hair. You worried about how I look. And you worried about how I fucking talk. Are you out your fucking mind? You the problem, bruh. That's why you not black. And that's why you African. Because we don't want you. The same way you don't want us. We don't want you. Take your ass back to Nigeria, bruh. I'm from Cali.
Okay, Chris, all right. You gave us the smoke.
All right. So, who's next?
Wait, concrete. Wait, yeah, concrete, and then Jamal. I got you after concrete. Go ahead, concrete.
Yeah, thank you. I don't think we should be harsh on Seneca. I think this is, just a response to the pressure that the black community, the African community is put under through like worldwide systemic, let's say, oppression, right? The entire continent has been under siege since its written history. The entire black community has been under siege since its written history. Worldwide public relentless degradation, right? The way they talk about us, the way they characterize us, low IQ, just sexual, overly sexual. If you look at yourself as a man, and a black man of this community, you're gonna say to yourself, "That's not me," and then you're gonna. But there is somebody who that applies to, and it's rightfully so that rise in this way. So all Seneca's doing is a misguided attempt to separate himself from these titles, these characterizations, and he's doing the best that he can to remain sane as a person. And if I have to call the police on you, if I have to, throw you into a ditch as the person causing, I guess I'm gonna do it, right? Because I don't want my life to be diminished because of the you're engaging in, right? So that's all that's really happening. It's a coping mechanism, right? And don't hate him. There is unfortunately something to pity about it because he hasn't taken the time to understand all the dynamics at play, which is leading him to utilize this rhetoric. And I mean, just one example.
Concrete, before you continue, let me just say one thing real quick. People in this room, please don't ever accuse me of gaslighting after this guy spoke. Okay, concrete.
Talking about me?
No, it was something earlier.
Okay. So, and we can take that statement and we can examine it for its, let's say, truth value or how it, reflects the real world. Now, is there a hair characteristic of criminals? A hairstyle characteristic of criminals?
No.
Is there?
Obviously not, right? Obviously not. Jay-Z didn't invent the hairstyle, nor did Jay-Z make it popular. And it was a thing that people had as hairstyles before Jay-Z probably moved, right? But it's hairstyle of a criminal.
But when I was outside on the road, I had short hair. I moved along.
Hold on, real quick. And so with that, no problem. Thank you. So with that statement, the glimpse into his psychology, into how he is navigating this world, right? And that's why we should not be upset with him, because obviously that wasn't like a well thought out statement. That's like an emotional reaction. And whether or not he's intending to trigger, he's definitely intending to separate himself. And that separation is, in fact, a defense mechanism. Because the world is shooting at black people. And he's saying, not me, them. Stop shooting at me. Right? And I understand it. And like I said, there's something that should be pitied. Because obviously he has...
Okay, Alfred, you repeat yourself, but I appreciate your point.
I'm done.
We have
All right, so let me just say this real quick. He wanted to know about what I felt or what we felt was a remedy to the racial profiling, and we went in another rabbit hole. But I'm going to try to bring line I can see is land, maybe 2 or 3 states, where we wouldn't succeed the union or try to come out of the country, but we could settle a couple of states. I'm in a state called Wyoming right now. I'm headed to Utah, where the brother said he's from.
I'm right by Evanston. What do you mean? I'm in.
Okay. I mean, it's not, but you're missing the point, Chris. Yeah. All I'm saying is, as I was driving on Highway 80, headed west, I seen a Walmart distribution center that's hiring for $30.65 an hour. Now, I know Walmart distribution centers, and I know Wyoming is a white-ass state. So they have settled certain areas of the country, and they have business in those areas. They're still Americans. I'm saying all that to say, Carolina, and some of these states we can settle and make our own, still do business, make money, create our own hourly minimum wages. Because I'm thinking to myself, how the hell are these white people in Walmart distribution center all making minimum of $30 an hour? And so I just find that very interesting, because I know if you go down south, they're probably getting paid $16 an hour, right? So we can settle some of these areas, and that would be the biggest way to stop racial profiling, is to police ourselves and our section of the country and our community and settle those areas. That's the best example I can think of for a remedy. I like.
Jamal, I share every sentiment you just said. You should not share that on Clubhouse, bro, because you know you get rid of people like that.
Seneca, I just wanted to respond to some of what you said. I disagree with most of what you said, and more so probably disagree with the presentation of it. And it just feels like it was a little too broad, and it wasn't as precise as what it could have been. And I think that's where the problem, where stereotypes can come into play. But there was one thing you did say that I somewhat agree with in terms of the words black and white. I think that they're overly used. There's 54 different black country or African countries, and there's about 44, 48, somewhere like that, European countries, and they all have different histories, different lineages, and these do influence the culture. So I do think that the point that you made that was really good is to take into account, if this is what you were trying to make, is to take into account people's individual history according to where they do come from and what your actual ancestry is. So I mean, I agree with that, but I think I disagree overall with the presentation of it, and I think it is problematic. It's just gives me a little bit of Candace Owens type of vibe.
Would somebody like to respond? Oh, what was that? Yeah, no problem. Sloan, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, Sloan.
That's okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna so this is I just have to refute judging the book by its cover. That's what I have to do. And then it's hidden in a guise of some sort of elitism or racism against blacks. There's nothing wrong with using the term black or person of color. And specifically if a person, however a person chooses, I challenge your belief system is what I challenge. And what I will say is I met a couple that they had tattoos from their neck all the way on both of their arms, down their legs. They had nose rings and they had four little kids. And guess what? They go to my church. And imagine if I had judged them for how they looked. Just imagine. You think they would feel love or anything like that? No, they wouldn't. But you know what? Who those people are, and however their life brought them to decide to tag their body or whatever they did. I don't care. They reach people because for my Christian belief, it's important to reach everybody and to love everybody. So, but they can reach people I can't reach because I don't look like that, and so you judging people like that and then choosing to say you're elite, um, and coming across elite. We know you're not elite, but it yeah, you need to stop. You really just need to reconsider what your beliefs are. John even gave you a little hot pepper, like that was a spicy comment. No, because how you dress, how you look, it's how you act, and what your character is what really matters. So what if somebody's playing their trap music and they have tattoos? Big deal. That's not what you judge people on. And if you don't have the wherewithal to take time to know, then just keep going on with your life. You don't need to create opinions and put people down because it doesn't bring you up to put people down. It really exposes who you actually are. Okay, thanks.
Okay, so we want to give Seneca a chance to respond. Go ahead, Seneca.
Yeah, I just, like, there's a community of people that just live in delusion. Like, I'm just sorry. First of all, I'm so glad and grateful that I'm informed by my heritage. My heritage and my religion, okay, give me definitions of who I should be and how I should respond in circumstances, how I should dress, what food I should eat, how I should speak, and the like. When a police officer is very upset and all pulling me over and is yelling and being very extremely assertive at my window, I respond, yes, sir. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I didn't know I was driving over the speed limit. See that later. Okay. When my black counterpart who has no heritage and is not informed by any culture or heritage or values from his heritage and refuses to serve God, and decides to serve the tarot cards and zodiac signs, okay, and chooses to essentially be anti-Christ and anti-religion, anti-Islam, okay, because he's not informed by any definition of who he should be, he assumes that he needs to be as black as can be. And what does it mean to be black? It means to be rambunctious, argumentative, and to go toe to toe and fight for his rights right then and there. And that's how he's going to get shot up with that. That's how they're going to shut up.
We're gonna let Seneca land, Chris. You'll have a chance to respond.
When you go and you look at all the list of people from the Black Lives Matter movement, all the people that were killed, you do not find one Nigerian, you do not find one Somali, you do not find one Canadian in that list. Not one. Not one. All of them are Black Americans. All of them are Black Americans that don't have a heritage, don't know their culture, don't know where they're from, and are not informed by any culture other than being as ghetto and niggerish as possible. Okay.
Okay, I'm next. I gotta go
Wait, hold on. When when Seneca lands, we go to the mods first. So we'll go Seneca and then of course Queen Sloan. And then Chris, I know you want to respond. So Seneca, let's let him land first, please.
Okay, yes, I'm going to land here because I know you have the Black Americans have self-respect and self-control. At the end of the day,
Seneca, hold on. I have a question. I stopped eating listening to you talk because it's just you're blowing me away with what you're saying. And keep it real with me because we always have good conversations. Do you actually believe everything you're saying right now?
Yes, because I'm tired of people acting like animals and not. If I was Black American, okay, and I didn't know my heritage to inform my values, I would be Muslim. Okay, because at least there's a community, there's the Ummah that will inform me and provide a culture that will ensure that when I meet a police officer and that position.
Read that man bio. He is Muslim. He lying.
Yes. When I am Muslim, I'm not lying. What are you talking about? I never said I was.
Don't worry, I'm gonna cook your ass in a minute. As soon as I get this mic,
that's
I'm
okay.
gonna cook
That's
your
okay.
ass.
You can be denied. That's okay. Let me lie. Just let me pretend you can control yourself. Okay, if I was Black American, okay, and I didn't have a heritage, I would adopt the cultural values of Islam with the boom. Okay, that teach me humility and modesty, that teach me to dress in a hijab. Okay, not in a hijab, to cover everything from my navel down to my knees. As a woman, to wear a hijab if you're a woman. Okay,
Tell the other
to be
truth
modest.
that if
Yeah,
you
and to
believe
respect
the game,
Chris, let him land.
and to respect authority. These Black people do not respect authority. They act rambunctious. They act like wild hyenas and animals, and then they expect to be respected. And that's just not how the world works. If you respect yourself, people respect you. If you act like you don't have a heritage, you didn't come from a home, you want to have tattoos all over your face and then put a chain on your neck and then go into corporate America, no, they're gonna kick you out. You don't belong there. Okay, if it walks like a criminal, acts like a criminal, it's a criminal. I rest my mind.
Thank you, Seneca. I think Sloan wanted to go, and then we'll go to Chris. Anybody want to speak after Chris? I have a cue.
Yep.
E, I see E. Anybody else?
I do too.
That's Keith. Okay. Anybody else after Keith? All right, cool. Please don't interrupt as the speakers come off mic. Cool. Sloan, you got it, sis.
I'm not even going to say very much because I just don't really need to give my energy to ignorance. I really don't. He believes what he believes. I gave a very good example of why you should not judge people based on appearance, and he chose not to even acknowledge that. That's fine, but you. And this isn't to talk. I'm not even talking to him, and I'm not going to center myself. But I will say that it is important to know that Blacks in this country may not know their heritage, not through any fault of their own, but through the capitalism called slavery. And that is important to know when you decide to pass judgment on someone that doesn't know their culture. And let me be clear, I am Black. I am not African American, and I'm okay with that. In fact, after meeting you, I am more than okay with not being African American. I am Black, happily Black. And to further make my point, I'm actually I am in the lineage of George Washington. My
She's a Black woman and she's George.
My family is on the slave side of George Washington. We're in the Smithsonian Historical Museum for African American History and Culture. So when you say people don't know their culture and they act a certain way, yeah, things come with that. And this of the capitalism of slavery. I wouldn't wish to be a Nigerian based on your nasty attitude. I wouldn't. I am happy being a Black American, and I'm proud of that. But when you look at me, it comes from a place of imperialism, of colonialism, of things possibly your Nigerian ancestors probably gave our asses up. So that's what I think of you and your opinions. Thank you.
Well, let me jump in here real quick, 2 seconds. Sloan, please don't leave because you and I we haven't shared space alone. I appreciate you. I understand trying to protect your energy. But I appreciate being here. Let me just say this real quick because I know there's going to be blowback from this room. Right? Healthy Debates does not endorse anything that's being said by individual speakers. I'm not signing off on any of this stuff. So before you guys go open rooms that Healthy Debates is harboring or racist, I don't want to hear that shit. So get it back to you, 9.
For the record, before we go to Chris, for anybody keeping tabs, I personally don't identify as Black, African, or Negro. I'm a Time Lord from the planet Gallifrey. Thank you. Go ahead, Chris.
well, me, I'm just another brother from Cali. Sloan, I love what you said. It's just amazing to me. So, like the sister said that her family it got something that goes back to George Washington. So my great grandmother, if you ever go into Texas, my last name is Gardner. My family founded a whole town in Texas, and they Black. They not African. I don't know any Africans, none. in my whole family. 0. And it's crazy to me that this man can sit and talk like that and say, oh, well, because of you look like this. Yeah, I'm tatted, bro. I'm 6'4", I'm 270, and I'm tatted. I'm tatted up. And if you see me outside, you will probably turn around. But if you took a second to stop and say hi, you'll find out that I'm actually a nice guy. You are just afraid, bro. You're afraid, and all your people are afraid. That's the problem. You a bitch. it, I don't even know how else to call it. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but all you've been doing is saying like, oh, if you look like this and you act like this, and if it's a duck, it's a duck, it's a duck. Well, if it bleeds once a month and it looks like you, it must be a hoe. I don't know.
Well, I have a question. Chris, Seneca, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Thank you. And I'm just trying to get some clarity. Were you born here or you were born over in Africa?
I was born in New York, New York City.
Oh, New York City. Okay, gotcha.
We had a conversation about, East New York, remember?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised about the things you're saying because, I don't feel that energy here in New York or that vibe. I mean, listen, you're going to believe what you believe. I know I'm not changing anybody's mind. But you kind of knocked me for a loop tonight because that energy doesn't live here in New York, as far as I know.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of different cultures in New York. I lived in areas that were mainly surrounded by non-immigrants, right? But even JB in Brooklyn, right? The Trinidadians, the Jamaicans, right? They're not sad. Most of them are not. I mean, some of them are smoking weed and stuff, but they're not like out here acting like criminals. Sagging their pants, out at wee hours of the night.
Seneca, that don't make
just
it.
loud
What if I
and
work graveyard? What if I work a graveyard? Does that put me out in the wee hours of the night? Because I used to be a bouncer in Miami and in Utah where I live now. I used to work at the clubs as security, so I was out in the wee hours of the night. And what the fuck does it mean if I sag my pants? Why you looking at my pants? Why you watching my pants?
That's what criminals do.
That's what criminals do? Why?
That's to attract gay men.
You need to stop watching TV, dog, because I did 5 years, and that's not the case. That's not the case. You need to stop watching TV. You need to stop watching TV, brother. Because you've never been there. Stop talking about shit you've never been to.
In corporate America, that is sad.
And fuck corporate America, because I work in corporate America.
We have to have one mic because we can't hear. We have to have one mic. Hold on, Chris. We have to have one mic because otherwise we can't hear. XG, I see you. I see you flashing. We have a queue. So after Chris, we have E, Keith, and then we got you, XG. Seneca, go ahead and land.
Put the bully in the queue. Yeah.
I got you.
You see, black people don't want to hear anything that holds themselves responsible for their behavior and why they're being targeted. Okay, when you look at the African American men have the highest, and I can't remember it is because of demographic or per capita, right? But they have the highest percentage of suicide and deaths. When you look at Black American women, Black Americans come only 23% of them come from two-parent family households. Okay, the systemic issue, the root cause of the systemic issue is really them. It is their behaviors, it is their attitudes, and the dissonance from their values. Okay, even the ones that are Christian are out here putting their titties on Bumble, and they're having their ass out talking about God first and Jesus first. Okay, the immodesty of these people, the unruliness, the disrespect, the lack of self-respect, okay, is what puts them in these situations. When you adopt a value system, a framework that is either informed by your customs, from your heritage, or from your religion, you're not privy to a lot of the backlash that you get from police and everything like that. There's not one Nigerian, okay, that you can find on the list of people that were killed during that COVID Black Lives Matter era. Not one. All of us, lawyers, doctors, engineers, successful people. Same thing. A lot of other Africans when you see all the list, when you're looking down the list, only one demographic is on that list, on that Black Lives Matter list. It's all Black Americans. The Shaniquas and the Sineadis and the Jamals.
I can't wait to get in here. Okay, so
let's just be honest. Can we just be honest in this room today? That's
okay,
all.
let's be honest about.
Okay, hold on. Let's
Hold
let
Senator Land explain, please.
I planned it. They're not going to accept anything. It's to be black is to not accept your responsibility.
Well, how many black people?
Wait. We're gonna everybody keep their submissions under 2 minutes, please. Let's go. We got E, Keith, XG, and then Thug. Who wants to go after Thug?
I'll go, John. Put John in the queue.
Just put me in the queue and let me know when I can go. This Chris.
Okay, so Chris, hold on. After Thug, we have Chris. I think I saw John come off mic, and then Bert. Go ahead. Go ahead, E.
So Seneca, I'm just gonna say that I think that while I'm not particularly offended by what you're saying, I think it is understandably offensive. And I also am gonna say that I fundamentally don't think that your intentions behind what you're saying are actually bad. I think it is really a misguided attempt at accountability. And I think it's a bit of an overcorrection. I think what you're pointing to is examples of, you can have real life examples of people, for example, who will go to a store and have stole something and then get in trouble and say that, oh, this is only because I'm black or something like that. I think you're pointing out examples like that where accountability could be taken. But I think what you're doing is you're overcorrecting. So you're seeing these examples and then you're attributing more fault to black people than should be attributed, as opposed to looking at it from a nuanced perspective, which is that, yes, there's accountability to be taken within the black community, but that's not to then necessarily go and see every negative thing that happens to a black person and assume that they could have taken accountability for it. It sometimes can go way too far. That's like, I live in California. That's like an earthquake happening in California. Somebody saying, well, you know what, you should have known about fault lines and tectonic plates and shouldn't have lived in California. There's a point where the level of accountability that you're expecting from somebody is just not a realistic sense, and there's things that are beyond people's control. So I think that while your intentions are really just to be accountable and to take responsibility, and it's really probably more of an empowering message that I think you're trying to have, and that you take that with yourself, and you seem frustrated with hearing people who you feel have not taken accountability. I do think that it is misguided because it doesn't encompass a balanced view. And so that's pretty much all I have to say about it.
Thank you. Keith, go ahead, Keith.
Yes, I just wanted to say that Seneca, man, I like, part of me, like, I understand I'm the same as he, but the other part is like, bro, you kind of coming at black people with this a generalization, meaning the same thing he said. You taking one situation and you putting it on all, and just saying this is who you guys are, and it's no Nigerians that got in the black, lives movement and all of that. But I just want to say, in my profile is my son. He got the locks. He went to school to Xavier, had a 3.7. His father, so I'm the stepfather, is a sheriff in Cleveland, and his mother, who I'm married to, is a nurse, and they are African. I just came back from Africa, and he was wearing the locks out there, and they did tell him, they said, hey, look, down here, as he was free and he walked around in Africa, he did get the freedom as a black man and not getting profiled by, people, because everybody was out there was African. So that was real good, and he enjoyed that. But they did say, hey, you got to be aware of your environment. They did talk to him, and I did talk to him too about that situation. We do have to know our environment. I'll just say this, and I know a lot of people gonna come at you, but if I got some Jordans and I got my gold chain on, it's some places in the hood that I'm not gonna walk, and it go the same way for the way that we present ourselves when we in different situations. So I agree on that side, but Seneca, I think the way that you explain it, you kind of throw all of us under the bus the way you do it.
Okay,
Thank
so
you. No, Thug. XG's first. XG, then it's on you, Thug. Go ahead, XG.
Yeah, I'll keep it short. I think you're, no, it's my
Wait, who said who wants the queue? That was Jamal? Who said they want to get in?
Job. That's me.
This is how we're going. It's XG the Thug. We have XG Thug, Chris, John, Bird, and then Ja. Who else? Okay, cool. Go ahead, XG.
Yeah, I'll keep it brief. I think, in short, that if you want to TLDR everything I'm going to say, in short, you're an uptight, self-righteous coon. I'll put it that way. All you do and everything you speak just puts the furtherment of black people further back, or African Americans, as you love to say, even though you tout this pride with Nigeria, when the number one threat of Nigerian parents when they're in the U.S. is to send their children back to the shithole of a country that Nigeria is. So, again, I'm really confused as to how black Americans are the bottom of the barrel and African Americans are the bottom of the barrel, yet the worst living African American in the U.S. probably lived a high-class life in fucking Africa. So like, that's what I'm confused about. It's always Africans are so much better than African Americans, yet all of them have to migrate here to make anything of themselves. That's hilarious to me, that you guys have to go ahead and flex 50-year-old technological advancements being made by fucking sticks and stones and act like it's fucking amazing in Africa when we did that 50 years ago. I'm so sorry, you're still catching up. So to try to act like Africans are the pinnacle of society, the pinnacle of morality, when half of them still can't let their women drive, half of them just got the right to vote. The other half, they're so fucking societally behind and technologically behind that for you to imply that the Africans are somehow so much more superior to the African Americans, it's mind-blowing to me. It's mind-blowing to me. And it's the pinnacle and the epitome of this coon-ass Candace Owens state of mind that you trap yourself into to keep sucking the white man's dick in the boot from under the chair. Like, I'm really confused as to how you kowtowing this bad to white people and racial stereotypes is somehow benefiting your cause, benefiting your message, or benefiting you as a person. You're one of the good ones until they don't need you anymore. And then when they don't need you anymore, guess what? You become as much of a nigger as the rest of us. So congratulations. You're equally as fucked in this scenario. You're just delaying yours a little bit longer. So the more you keep playing these coon games, just wait, because you're going to be on the same fucking tree that all of us are going to be on.
Senator.
Wait, Thug, Jamal, Thug is next. Have a queue. Go ahead, Thug.
Yeah, so this is the problem that, black Americans feel the need to try to educate these assholes about, what our images are. If any of you have not watched a show on Netflix called Young African Famous, or Young Famous in African, look at the images on how these degenerative Africans have allowed themselves to be used to project these images of them as if this is their lifestyle in Africa. It's false. It's a lie. These are the Nigerians. And you look at the makeup on their face, they make them lighter. These women are pitch black. And they are using makeup to have the images of what they would like American, or the American standard of what beauty is. They're trying to use that show to have all Africans on the continent portray themselves as such. So this whole idea that he's trying to make it seem like black Americans are the worst degenerative images on the world, your allegedly best people are trying to portray those images. They're trying to look exactly like the degenerative thing that you're saying that we are. And your children are growing up that way. Your children are growing up loving hip-hop, loving sagging their pants, loving rapping about killing motherfucking Africans and doing all the rest of the stuff. They love that shit, right? So it just behooves listening to people like him, right? It only further gives me the ammunition to prepare my next generation to know that don't ever let these fucking niggers, because that's what you are, don't let these niggers, use their survival tactics of, saying all these black terms or trying to pretend to be cool because they're educating with you in school. Fuck them, right? Fuck them into the next century. I'm done speaking.
Okay, Jamal, we have a queue. I keep telling you have a queue, and it's going Chris, John, Bird, and John. So I'll put you in after John. So, Chris. Chris is on your phone, so let's go ahead to John. Congressman John, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I would just say don't judge a book by its cover. And what that means is we're all Americans. And on the inside, we have pink brains and we have blood and we have other colors on the inside. So I would just say that when I say that education is lacking, it really is a spiritual education because we all have a translucent soul which is colorless, or at least all of our brains are pink and our hearts are red.
Let's go to the next person.
Congressman like that. That's messed up. Okay, wait, Chris, you were on the phone. Chris, you were next before John, so we'll go Chris and then Bert, Ja, and Jamal. Go ahead.
I can't even think of anything else to say except, man, that ain't crazy. And I will just yield my time to the next person. Because, like I said, I was on the phone. So, I can't even deal with that right now.
No problem. Thank you, Chris. Go ahead, Bert.
You?
Well, it's good, Bert. Yo, Bert, I need you to do me a solid, bro. Cashing that pink ticket.
I got you.
That is my fucking land. You know what I'm saying? That's some of it I do. Some of it actually do own legally.
So you own this because you bought it, not because your grandparents married them.
No, I didn't buy it. I did not buy it. I inherited it.
Everything. There's no law that says that just because you live someplace, it's your place. Sorry.
Yes, there is natural law.
No,
There is
I
natural
don't
law
know
that speaks.
Well, hold on a second.
I know you're a lawyer. Ain't you some amateur?
Well, Lord, I would have to, like, natural law would also be like the
Great room title there, Rabbi. Really top notch. Very funny. Good stuff.
go read the book and go to the gym, Fatty.
That's what I keep telling people on this app, fatty.
Do you know that may have turned out to be Sean? What's his name? Hickman?
Yeah.
He's a Yiddish guy.
He's Jewish.
How you doing, motherfucker? Yeah, he is. He's a Yiddish guy. Why do you think he's simping so hard? He used to hate Trump, and he suddenly started loving Trump because Trump is cooking for the Jews.
Oh, he's cucking for the Jews.
That's right.
Really?
That's right. I don't like people whose views are so easily swayed by either the coin or by some, people whose emotions are so easily and so readily aroused. And I just don't like that.
From the root of the issue, I think you're very surface level with it. Surface level, ignorant, damn near MAGA. No offense to anybody else who's MAGA. I'm just trying to make a point. So yeah.
Thank you, Bert. Okay, let's go to John.
Well, at some point we gotta give Seneca a chance.
Okay.
Hold on. Because then he's getting dogpiled.
I know.
He's just gonna call for
Seneca
massacre.
versus 100 black people.
He's just going to call for massacre.
No one said anything to dispute Seneca. They just insulted.
Hold on a second. Hold on. No, I'm going to hand it back to you. Run it how you want. I just like to keep Seneca the conversation. Otherwise, it's dogpile and an echo chamber.
Okay, so we'll let Seneca respond, and then we'll go to John, Jamal, and then I see Mike came on. We'll go to Mike Allen after that. Go ahead.
Okay, so
I'm back.
Okay, Chris.
no one is attacking all black people, right? I hate it when
Wait, hold
Black
on, Bert. You
Americans-
have to mute up, Bert. We're getting feedback, please. Go ahead.
I hate it when some black Americans use their typical cultural deflections, right? Whenever you hold them accountable, they want to hold your country accountable. They want to hold they say white people do it too. They say, oh, no, you don't understand. Slavery happened to us. You know what I mean? They make all these excuses upon excuses. They call out slavery like they're the only ones in the world that ever experienced hardship or ever came from generational hardship. Okay, it's just not an excuse. I'm sorry. We're tired of the bullshit. People come to this country. They don't even come from a country where they use the same characters, let alone speak the same language, let alone know the culture and the systems. And you have 400 years of knowledge in this country. Okay, you know the systems. You know the educational systems, the financial systems, the justice systems. You know the culture. You can speak the language. And still, you don't overcome. You don't succeed. Why? Because you're dropping out of class to go smoke weed. Okay, you're hanging around the wrong people. You're out late at night when you should be studying. You come to work, you disrespect your teachers. You don't do your homework. You barely graduate from high school if you graduate. Okay, you don't go to college. Okay, and then you end up thinking you're the shit because you got a $15 per hour job, while your immigrant counterparts are going to college, getting engineering degrees, getting accounting degrees, coming out making six figures. Okay, and then you want to whine and boo-hoo. Okay, that it's not fair, and blame slavery for your lack of discipline and lack of self-respect. No, we're sick of the shit. Okay, we're sick of your communities being so freaking decrepit because you won't look at yourselves. You won't tell your woman to put on some clothes. Okay, you won't tell your woman to stop having promiscuous sex, disguising it as dating, looking for the one. They're always looking for the one until they catch AIDS or until they get pregnant. Okay, it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? No one. I'm sure Keith you sound like a really great gentleman and a gentleman that respects himself. But let's be honest. Even you are responsible. Why? Because it is your community. It is your community, and more Black people need personal accountability for their community. Okay, but you know what? When you hold a Black man, a woman accountable for their community, you know what they say? Oh, just let Black women be. Just let other people be. I'm focused on myself and my family and my household. They don't even give a shit about their community. Okay, and
you know, Senator, man, let me jump in for a second because I've been and I know nothing I'm going to say is going to change your mind, and I want to keep it real with you. I find everything you're saying to be so vile and disgusting and so intellectually dishonest. Because for me, right, JB,
it's
right
his
here,
lived experience, JB.
I'm not part of your community, I'm part of my own community. But here in New York, as you know, we're a melting pot, so we mix together. So you to label an entire community, the things you're saying, I'm going to keep it real, bro, is reprehensible and disgusting to me. Can't speak for anybody else in this room, but, I like to give everybody a chance to expose who they are. And I have to tell you, dude, you really, in my opinion, my advice to you is take a step back and listen to what other people are saying. Come out of that headspace because, bro, it's not reality. But I'm sorry for cutting you off. I had to say that because I've been listening
to it. It is reality. It's the reality. I gotta tell you, these things gross.
Yeah, it's difficult listening to a dirty fucking.
Can I ask you a question, JD? Can I ask you a question? Okay. You're from the Italian community, right?
Yes, Italian Jewish.
Italian Jewish, okay. Do you see a difference in the behaviors and the culture of your community and the Black American community and how it has made your community more successful?
What I see, I've seen beauty in the Black community, man, here in Brooklyn. I go to Bed-Stuy, but you ask me a question, let me answer it. I don't see any difference with all communities, right, but we're all people. Listen, Doug and I argue every fucking day, bro, and I'd still go have a fucking drink with this guy. I don't give a shit. Let me find out the context of the person, not the whole community. I'm not going to paint the entire community because one idiot did something stupid. That's ridiculous. Listen, look at the narrative we have in this world right now. The Jews own the media. Jews own the banks. Guys, we're not going down that rabbit hole right now. Just using this example. It's ridiculous, man. I'm not going to sit here and paint an entire community because one person made a mistake. Because there's plenty of people in my community, I guarantee you, Senator, I'm making mistakes today, they'll make them again tomorrow. Does that make me the same person that person is? I would hope not. But guess, Senator, land your point.
Well, I have no further questions. I was hoping you would acknowledge that your community has been more successful because you act like a community. You come together and support each other. Okay, and you take responsibility for your growth.
Yo, Seneca, listen, I'm not going to say that the Jewish community hasn't been successful. Let me say this to you, bro. I've been ostracized by my own community more than any other community. See, there's hypocrisy in every community. That's why I get smoke from my community, because I call them out on their bullshit. Right? They don't want to hear that. They ostracize me. That's fine. I'm still a proud Zionist, and I will be till the day I die. And let me just give you this little example, Senator.
Is that
if you're driving down the road and the cop pulls you over because you're Black, because we all know that happens, that's the title of this room. You can tell him, no, officer, hold on, I'm not Black, I'm African.
You think he's really going to believe that bullshit?
You know, you can tell by the way I speak, the way I conduct myself, my behaviors. I call him sir. Even if he's angry and rambunctious, I de-escalate. He knows that's not the behavior of a black man. And 9 times out of 10, JB, they let me off with a warning. Even when I am speeding, they let me off with a warning because I'm so respectful. That's not the characteristic of a black American man.
Wait, can I disagree. I absolutely. Everybody mute up. Everybody mute up.
Please become a statistic.
Guys, we have a cue. I'm going to hand it back to Nye, but I want to say hello to MG real quick. MG, put your seatbelt on because we got some craziness going on here.
I hear. Hey, JB. Hey, Nye. Hey, Adam.
Hey, beautiful.
Everyone.
Okay,
Nye, please, I don't know what your cue is. It's on.
I just want to do a quick room reset for folks who came in. Healthy debates. We're talking about racial profiling. We have a poll at the top. Absolutely not is leading by 90%. If you don't see the poll, you have to go out, update the app, come back in. Absolutely not. Total hogwash. Figment of people's imagination. Bigger issue than I realized. Those are your options. Please vote if you haven't voted already. Folks, I know everybody's heated and passionate and spicy, but we have to honor the queue. We have Jaw, Jamal, Mike, Chris. Trap joined the stage. Trap, do you want to get in the queue? If not, just let me know when you're ready. Yeah. Okay, so we'll add Trap after Chris. So let's go ahead, Jaw, and then Jamal.
Before we go to John next, but John, can you do me a solid, bro? Please cash in your pink ticket.
Thank you, JB. Jaw, the mic is yours. Please, everybody, remember, keep your submissions under 2 minutes.
If there's anyone worthy of being doxxed, it's him.
No, we ain't doing that block party. We ain't doxing people. That's not cool. Yeah, John.
Okay, let's do it.
No, because, I mean, I'm South Sudanese. So, like, I'm African, I'm South Sudanese. I mean, I see African Americans, you know what I mean? Stuff we agree with, because, I mean, we both get drunk. We both like to fight. So, you know what I mean? But, like, stuff that's African American, I don't get, that's their problem. Who am I? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that's their issue. I sit back, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm what? Me doing, what am I going to do? It's their problem to solve. Like, I just sit back. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Why would I go in there and start talking shit? You know what I mean? Make it work? No, it's that you can't, you know what I mean? They got to solve it themselves. You can't really tell people. But, all right, I'm done.
Thank you, Jamal. Jamal,
I'm watching you do this piece of shit, too. Okay. We do some bullshit, too. But they don't tell us all the bullshit we do. They just be like, yo, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Go ahead, Jamal.
You know, so I hope y'all can hear me clearly. I'm using my other headset. Seneca has touched on and articulated very well a lot of my own personal feelings, and I'm from the United States of America, the foundation, African American myself, I am. And I agree with him. I know that he is gaslighting a lot of it, probably and upsetting people and the way that he's saying it so smug and matter of fact, and it's a little disrespectful the way he's saying it. But everything he has said is right, and I agree with him. And I think we as African American, Black people, foundational Black American, we have to come to terms with some of this stuff in order to really, really go back to the title. And the title is about this racial profiling. There's a way that you have to deal with police players. No more basketball players, no more basketball players, and redirect a whole generation of Generation Alpha and Beta, into engineering, science, STEM, technology, and reroute ourselves out of entertainment. There's no money in it anymore. There's no money in the music. They officially raped you from making money from music unless you're performing and on stage samboing, breaking your legs, headbutting each other, and getting brain aneurysms from football, shooting and breaking your legs and shit
shooting basketballs and shit. It's time for us to redirect shit. And I agree with everything that the Nigerian brother's saying. And right is right. You know, and we got to really take a long look at ourselves. If we want to stop the profiling, we got to really take a deep, long look at ourselves. And I'll land right.
I hope both you coons get lynched.
Okay, XG. XG, hold on. So I have Mike, then Chris is no longer on the stage. So I have Mike. Is Mike still?
Mexican people, they have a specific, preposterous.
Well, I don't know that there's...
Julio, come up here and play with my...
I don't know if there's, like, a genetic thing, but I mean, Mexican, that's the one sport I participated in, and, like, it is... Mexicans definitely have a, they're definitely known for being successful in boxing. At least in the Western Hemisphere, the most successful. But they also have a higher participation rate than other groups.
I don't know. That was what they were saying, and it kind of reminded me of the shit that comes out of Pepe's mouth. You know, really reprehensible there.
Well, they have, like, in the country of Mexico, and Mexican-American fighters kind of have a similar style. It's called, like, pressure fighting. It may to some people look like you're just being you're just like a slugger. But these are people that literally, they keep on walking forward. They try to walk you down into a corner or to the ropes. And they'll fight on the outside, but then try to go on the inside. And then, you know, there's a little bit of, like, taking a punch to give a punch. It's actually a very difficult style of boxing to learn. It's not it literally takes years for people who've had long amateur careers and have boxed that were pros for years as well. So.
Is that what happened to your brain when you got TBI? Was it in a pressure fight?
Yeah, I usually don't get TBI from one fight.
Well, I want to thank you, Pepe. You did it again. You know, your doxing of Roger Mayhem, your stirring of the pot. You have once again.
Somebody else moved in. What if?
I did.
Hey, bro, maybe you, Joe. That was like actually you were boxing. You were boxing, like
stir the pot.
Yeah, it was a boxer for a little bit.
I was an amateur, and then like
you guys have to be.
He's like, let me tell you.
He kicked me. Oh man, we need Roger back. We need Roger back.
Child.
Ooh, child. Things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child. Things are gonna get harder.
You can kick vinegar if you want. You kick vinegar if you want to.
Ooh, child. Roger Mayhem's gonna get fluff you out.
I like Kitover. I like Kitover too, but he has a nick. If you want to kick him,
When are you guys going to donate to the campaign to elect John Kitover?
I am not going to elect nobody.
Oh, that's right. You're Canadian. You can't donate to the campaign anyways.
Why not? I actually could. There's supposed to be some sly roundabout way I could.
Got it.
I miss my Mayhem. Bring him in. Bring that faggot in. That Pokemon faggot.
I saw him on here earlier today, but I didn't see the run.
He's no longer showing up to cut counts until you deleted his Twitter because he's been exposed as a Yiddish guy called Sean Hickman. And he misspelled Sean. Child, the Jewish faggot selling Pokemon cards while talking about gold. That's right. Check. You have to understand John Kitover. You have to understand. In this show, we are nigga minimizing. That's what music.
we are studying FIFO, LIFO, and specific identification as far as inventory management.
That's right. We actually do finance, unlike Roger Faggot Mayhem, who actually Pokemon cards while talking about gold and not money.
That's right.
We do finance.
Oh,
And we
but
don't
can
do
we
niggas.
remove?
We're nigga minimizing. Okay, so these are privileges just for you to know. And you should feel more than lucky to be at the McDickerson Kosher Shaker Fund.
But can we? What? So this Muslim chick on Hinge is like, "What are you looking for on here?" I said, "Whatever you're looking for." She says, "I'm looking to get married." I said, "We shall see if that's in the cards." She wrote, "You're Muslim?" I said, "No, but can we ummah and do 2 wives?"
Child. I love this thing.
Oh, child.
I actually do like program. I do like it. I like Kitover. People don't appreciate him though. And I beg to differ. I do appreciate him. I just think
She wrote, "So are you considering it?" Sure. Can you believe these people want to have these like ridiculous text conversations on a dating app? People are really fucking stupid. And this girl is a physician, a fucking doctor. That's why I give no credibility to the medical industrial complex. It's just basically people who tested well and now they work in consumer packaged goods. That's it.
I completely agree with that.
I don't know if I agree.
Are you serious?
There are aspects of medicine where critical thinking is required, but that's like those are specialists. It's not like hospital. It's not. It's like that's like your fellowship, but.
Yeah. That's right. I mean, hey, it is what it is. It is bad. Yes, you know. Because I do see, you know what, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I love you, Kitover, and I hope you understand that.
That's right.
I hope Kitover understands that.
I like Kitover.
Well, Rico Bosco, you should consider contributing to the campaign to elect John Kitover. Let me put the link in the chat, Rico Bosco. You should become a donor to the campaign to elect John Kitover.
So I don't know if I'm
You're funding a fucking Polish Jew.
That's right.
I'm not Polish and I'm not Jewish. You shawarma Jordanian kanafa eating motherfucker. You motherfucker. You.
Others would be funny to see John Kitover his troll Congress, so I would enjoy the.
We're gonna get on the ballot.
Go read the book and go to the gym, fatty.
I already worked out today. We're gonna get on that ballot, but I need money to actually get the signatures.
Well, Bitcoin is down, motherfucker, so I'm not feeling better.
Well, that's okay. Just buy some more put options because Bitcoin's going down, and then you can contribute to the campaign.
Hi, you've reached 1773913.
You Indians who study.
I agree. I think we are brother and sister.
Okay, I'm with you. I'll go along the road.
I like that. You got a husband?
More than one.
You said brother and sister. More than one.
He said brother and sister, and now you're gonna give a husband.
No. I'm asking.
White people, you get to a certain age, of course you're gonna have some stereotypes. You feel me about white people when you see them. You feel me, and then you're gonna racially profile them, even if it is on accident. Like, hey, y'all put this in your potato salad and shit like that. Like I see us do it more than anybody else. Matter of fact,
Yeah, it's human nature.
I'm also tell us this. I've seen black people racially profile motherfuckers more than anybody else. Black people, we racially profile Africans, we racially profile other black people, we racially profile whites, we racially profile Asians, racially profile fucking Arabs. We always think one of them motherfuckers walking around with their hijabs gone. Is that what they call it? Whatever they call the little shit that they put on their head. We always think one of them about to blow some shit up, you feel me? Like, we racially profile motherfuckers more than anybody I've ever seen in my life. I'm just going to put that out there. So, yeah, again, it just comes when you don't have the knowledge about the other race, you feel me? You don't fit into proximity with certain people. Yeah, you fall under the racially profiling thing.
Thank you, Trap.
JB, can I ask Trap a quick question?
No, hold on. Hold on a second. If you weren't MAGA, I'd let you ask two questions. Hold on a second.
Question.
Hold on a second. No, we haven't heard from Trayvon yet, and George hasn't spoken yet. I'm going to let Mike ask his question, then you want to get these other guys involved. It's on you.
Yeah, it's a quick one. Trap, I actually agree with everything you say. I think you're a very level-headed man here. Would you say you're afraid of police officers?
No, sir.
All right. See, that's what I'm saying. See, and that's that. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Night. Trayvon, are you there, Trayvon?
Man, what's poppin'?
What's going on, man? You want to jump in this conversation? You just want to hang out?
Man, I guess I chime in real quick. I'm going to say that everybody got different views, you feel me? So we ain't never going to sit here and actually build on something if we attacking everybody's point of view. You feel me? So I'm going to go ahead and put that out there. And in regards to it, racial profiling is definitely a real thing. Trust and believe that. Now, I like to see things from, in between. I try not to take sides of it. So, to be clear, a lot of times that, we get racially profiled from my own personal experience. We are doing something that causes us to be looked at in some type of way. Let's be real about it. And to be 100%, I do feel that within a community, we don't take accountability, but I do feel that there's times in which we do things to cause, people to look at us a certain way. Prime example, in certain places, as much as we would all like to, value cannabis, in certain places, cannabis is illegal. It's definitely been times in which, some person gets pulled over under the influence of cannabis, under the influence of alcohol, you know what I mean? And it just goes down. It goes into a downfall. It spirals down. I don't like that. And it causes people to look at them suspicious. But there's also times where it's not anything that gives them a reason to look at us suspicious aside from our skin. So there is those times in which racial profiling is just what it is, racial profiling. So I'm going to keep it brief at that and let y'all brothers continue. You better know what y'all better know.
Thank you, Trayvon. I always appreciate when you come in. So I'm going to go to George, and then I'm going to go to Seneca. George, you there?
Hey. Yeah.
Hey, you want to chime in?
Yeah, I believe that racial profiling is definitely real. I think there will always be racism in the state of affairs. I also think that the You know, people should be on their best behavior, of course. I mean, it's a strategy. And you don't see that. If you're on your best behavior, it's not a problem. So that's it.
Thank you, George. Seneca, are you there, Seneca?
Yes. So the gentleman.
I'm sorry, I wasn't sure if you wanted to chime in or not.
Yes, I did. Thank you. So the gentleman earlier, I think it was he, said that you don't have to show your license and it's your right? And you don't have to show your license to a police officer, and so therefore
identification.
Your identification, right? But here's the thing: there's certain things that we don't have to do that we ought to do, right? And there's certain things that we can do that we probably ought not to do. For instance, we have the right to freedom of speech and freedom of expression, and anyone here can say anything that they like, right? But if, say, Mike Allen or maybe another white man calls someone in this room a nigger, right? Does he have the freedom to do that? Yes. Ought he do that? Probably not. Okay, probably not, because it's very disrespectful. In the same way, regardless of whether it's your right or not, we are informed as Nigerians, as Africans, as Somalis, as Ethiopians, as Sudanese, okay, that when you have an authority figure, an elder, let's say an elder in the community, or even an older brother is considered your uncle, okay? When you have, we call our older brothers and older sisters uncle and auntie sometimes because we recognize authority figures. And we recognize that we are not mates, we're not equal to our authority figures. And that cascades into relationship with police. As a Nigerian, when a police officer asks for my identification, it does not matter whether it's my right or not. I'm not even remotely thinking about my rights in that moment. I'm thinking that someone in authority has given me an instruction, and I obey because I'm obedient. I'm obedient because I'm Nigerian. I'm obedient because I'm Igbo, and that's what it means to be Igbo. I'm obedient because I'm Muslim, okay, and that's what it means to be Muslim.
For the most part, I don't disagree with you in terms of you saying that you ought to do something, even if you're not required to do it. I think the problem is that you seem to be, and correct me if I'm wrong, you seem to be supporting arbitrary punishments that people could inflict as a result of somebody not having done that. So if I am not required to present my ID, there's times where I may not want to present my ID because I might feel that my rights are being encroached upon. I mean, I've had times where police were involved in something where police did put me in handcuffs simply for recording them, when the whole reason I was recording them anyway is because they came off aggressive, they came off more hostile than was necessary. I felt like I was being treated unfairly, so I wanted to record for my own safety. And then I was arrested, or not arrested, but detained and put in cuffs for recording. So I think that sometimes people are exercising their rights for their protection. And while I do think it is the decent thing generally to comply, there is also, you have to take into account human nature, that police officers are not perfect and some of them are wrong and corrupt as well. And those are the times to exercise your rights. And that's what rights are for. Rights are for preventing against being encroached upon unfairly. So I don't think that I don't think it's the decent thing to do to let a police officer search my vehicle if I haven't done anything wrong, because I don't think it's the decent thing to do to go search somebody's vehicle that hasn't done anything wrong. So to some extent, there's common courtesy and there's decency and there's I generally will comply. I'm not gonna lie, I got pulled over by the police like a week ago, and I actually I said, I apologize, sir, maybe I was, going a little fast, whatever it was. And I completely complied with him. He said, well, you're being cool with me, so I'm going to let you go with the ticket. I could give you reckless driving because you were going like 95, but, and so generally, yeah, I showed him my ID. And I did, I complied with him in the ways that I should have. But there's also been other circumstances where police were very hostile, very aggressive, and I don't think that you should unconditionally just bow down to people. So I think that's where I more so take issue with what you're saying, is that I think people should be able to have their rights and not have to, they don't have to.
Thank you. I think that's it. Okay, so now we got a couple of new people on stage. We got CM. We got Bella on stage. I'm going to hand it over to you. I'm going to sit back and listen for a minute. By the way, now you're doing an amazing job today.
Yeah, you are crushing it. You're great.
Thank you, Mike. So listen, guys, I know this conversation is very heated, so I just want to keep it orderly and run a queue. The queue list is ended, so I'm going to start a new queue. Please let me know who would like to speak.
Yeah, I know there's people up there. I was jumping there, but maybe we'll go.
Yeah, swing me back in there.
Hold on. We have Seneca, then we have Mike. I see Trump wants to speak. So Seneca,
For sure, but I'll wait my turn. The people that were here first.
How he takes a couple hits from his pen and all of that. So as the proliferation, sorry, still high. As the proliferation of marijuana starts becoming legalized, you see a lot.
Oh, hey, Julian. What are you doing with these highbrow financiers, Julian? I thought you wanted to you wanted to make love to Mangione and free him. Oh, hey, Edmund. Hey, Edmund. Hey, Edmund.
Admin, whatever your name is. I'm a man of duality. Mangione came from a lot of money.
I do this being the song that this is the music Kitover listens to as he goes to Capitol Hill. Not to riot, but to take, to sit on his seat.
I do think it'd be amazing to see Kitover in a congressional session, grandstanding, you're just doing yoga. You're what do you say? Everything's hypnosis.
That's right.
All communication is hypnosis. I would love to see him trolling Congress, grandstanding, giving a speech about a bill, being all communication is hypnosis. That'll be so funny.
That's right.
Well, all you have to do is give $10 to the campaign to elect John Kitover. Link is in the chat.
I don't think he would do that. I think he'd really cut, and he would be a total cut for this just like all of them. It's not going to be anything that's not any of them.
That's right. Israel's my number 2. America's my number 1, baby.
No, Israel is your number 1, nigga, and America is your number 2.
Nah, you Jordanian shawarma eating motherfucking faggot.
That's right. Back that's the end. We've heard that one top down. Alright, let's go
Link
next.
is in the chat, faggot. Link is in the chat. Link is in the chat.
I seen it earlier. I was laughing. It was funny. I seen it.
Yeah.
I laughed at that. It's humorous to me.
Yeah, it was actually funny. But
It's sad though on how they, try to hang on to so much stuff. Playing along with it. But I can tell y'all well that y'all know what y'all saying, and y'all just having to deal with a breed of people who came up under a time where they were told y'all oppressed them. And then you got people raised up.
No, I understand. So
it's a time for everything like that. And it is a time when these people are going to start terrorizing you. It ain't going to be safe to come in. Yeah, it is.
where are they in America?
I mean, that's how they're going to try to do it. They're going to get it so we can devour each other. So we're going to have all the blacks saying they want revenge for slavery. And they want to try to get it by
But not you, because you've got reparations, so you're strong, right?
Not reparations, so
Whatever we can do so people don't shed blood is good.